In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to export an AutoCAD drawing into Illustrator so that it can be processed on the laser cutter. So you can see here on my screen that I've got AutoCAD open, and I've got I'm in model space, and that I've got a drawing for a laser cut light shade that is going to be box jointed so it all friction fits together, and the bottom for the light fitting to fit in, and the top that all slots into these slots here. It's all nested together, ready for the laser cutter. And you can see that I've got, if I zoom in, I've got some hatching here, and I've got these sections that I'm intending to cut out. So we'll go through the process of how we set that up for laser cutting. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure that we're in paper space. So we've got to select plan, and you can see when I go into plan that my file is defaulting to A3 paper, which is a bit small. So what we need to do is right click on plan and change the paper size by going to page setup manager and click on modify. And down in paper size, you can see it's preset to international standard A3. So I'm going to change that to ISO A2. And okay, and close. And now you can see that it fits. So this size is just slightly smaller than the bed of the laser cutter, so I know it's going to fit and work. Okay, so I've got that all set up ready to go. I've got my viewport set so that I've got everything I want to export inside that viewport. So just make sure that your viewport is set so that everything you want to export and laser cut is actually inside that boundary. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to make sure that this drawing is at a scale of 1:1, or else it will export at the wrong scale. So to do that, we need to go across here to this tab that says paper and click on model. And you'll notice here that there's another tab that says 1:1, 100%. So just make sure that you haven't scaled it incorrectly. So you can change the scale if you want to half scale, but for laser cutting, obviously we want it the right size because we draw in a scale of 1:1. So we make sure that scale of 1:1 is selected. Okay, just click back on the model space so it goes back to paper space, and now you can zoom in and out without changing the scale. I'm just going to save that by pressing Control S. Okay, now we want to export it, so we're going to go to the big A up here, and we're going to go to export, and we're going to click on PDF, and we'll get a dialog box to save it. So save as PDF. We're going to save it at my desktop. You can see I've got a few laser cut light shades. So this one I'm going to make number 4. So just go _4. Sorry. _4 and save. Okay, so that's saved as a PDF. So I can just open Illustrator now and go File and New. And now I want to set up light shade 4. Make sure the profile here is set for basic RGB and that the units are in millimeters. And then we're going to change this size so that it's the exact size of our laser cutter, which is 726. I'm going to press the tab key. The height of it is 432. So 726, 432 millimeters, and light shade 4. Don't worry, that drops back to custom profile. It'll still be RGB. Click OK. And there's my screen. If I just wanted to double check, I could view rulers, show rulers, and it'll show me that it's exactly the right size, 726 by 432. Okay, the next thing I want to do is open my PDF. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to scroll down till I find Laser Cut 4 and open. And you'll see here it now opens it in a CMYK file, and we want to get it into this light shade. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize, just zoom in a bit So you can actually see the screen. Okay, now for some reason it's orientated differently. I'm not going to worry about that now. So I'm just going to grab that, Control C, and I'm going to click on the RGB file and Control V. And then I want to rotate it. So I just go to Object, Transform, Rotate. I'll type in 90 degrees. So it rotates it. Hopefully you won't have to do that. Now you'll see that it's got a clipping mask around it. So it actually, when I click anywhere on the screen, it just groups, it's sort of grouped everything. So if I select that clipping mask and then right click and release clipping mask, now you can see that it's ungrouped it, but I still have this clipping mask here. So I want to grab that. I'm just going to delete it to get rid of it because it's going to be a pain. Okay, so look, I could probably nest these things a bit better. So let's just, for the laser cutter, so let's just select that bit, grab that section and just move that across so it's a bit closer. That's better. Okay, just a little bit more economical. You could fiddle around with that too if you wanted to. I won't worry for the moment. Now I'm going to, probably the quickest way to do it is just to select everything at the moment and make it a cutting line. Even though I don't want to cut every single line out, it's just easier to, because most of my lines are cutting lines. So I'm going to go to RGB red and I'm going to make sure that the fill is on none. So if I click on fill, make sure that says none, and it's a white square with a red diagonal line. Okay, and then I'm going to click from 0.72, I'm going to change the stroke weight to a hairline so the laser cutter will read it. I don't know what I did then. I'll just make sure I click in that box. I just Control Z then to undo. 001 to make it a hairline and enter. And now you'll notice that when I deselect it, some of these lines actually drop out. Now, when I hover over, the lines actually come up. They are actually there. It's just that they're so fine, they're hard to see. So just make sure you hover over and just check all those. They look pretty good to me. So now this is set up for cutting, but if I zoom in, you'll notice here that this is a square that I want cut out. But these hatch marks here, I don't actually want to cut those out. I want to engrave those. So what I've got to do is I've got to go through, and anything I want to engrave, I've now got to reselect as black. And obviously a hairline engraving line would be way too thin. So I'm going to make that 0.75 to make it really thick. And obviously I've missed a couple here. Oh, missed that one as well. Let's do that again. Change that to black. And stroke weight to 75. So now I've got to go through and I've got to do that to all the lines I want to engrave, making sure that I just leave, I only touch the lines I want engraved and I leave all the lines I want cut. Just to vary it a bit, I'm going to go through and select these ones, and instead of making them 0.75, I'm going to vary that stroke weight a bit by making it 0.5. So I'm just making it a little bit thinner, you can see that. And that way it sort of gives the illusion of depth in the object, just to vary it a little. You don't have to do that, it's just, you might choose to, just to play around with it. Now, I've got to go and do that to all those hatching surfaces. I'm not going to do that now because it'll take too long, but you will have to do that in your drawing. I could leave those as cut, so there's a little slot through there for the light to come through, or I could engrave it. It's just a matter of your personal preference. But that's basically it. So I've just got to save that now, Control S to save. I'll come up to my desktop. So you'll save it obviously in your student drive. Save that as Lightshade 4, save. And now that's ready to go. I'll click on OK. That's ready to go to the laser cutter. Good luck and see how you go.